2022 is going to be the last year that you produce without a community of people to ask questions and to have support you. Let it be known. Welcome back to my channel.
Subscribe.
It's no secret, I've discussed loneliness on my channel before. It's really difficult when you're doing something that means you are on your own for the majority of the time. Something that has really helped me is I have joined a number of communities online, and that's been amazing. So I want to shout out some of my favourites in this video today. Everything I mention in today's video I'm going to be linking to in the description so you can find them easily. None of these communities are in any particular order, they are just how I listed them when I was creating the notes for this video. First up we have She Knows Tech. She Knows Tech are hugely important to me in particular. They actually created the link between Kiloheart and I, which of course has gone on to bits of work with them as well. While they are on other social media channels, they mainly operate from Discord, I believe. It's sectioned off into so many different channels. Hardware gear, plugins, recommendations, a bit of promotions and resources, opportunities, sales, sample packs, freebies. There's challenges and activities, so like flip the sample, so many things. They are global, so if you're looking to make some connections that aren't just in your home country, get involved with She Knows Tech. Number 2 is Women's Producer Group, safe space for women and non-binary people who are interested in music and production. We would love to connect with anyone who is not a cisgender man.
I know that's right.
Aims of the server are to create a safe space, share tracks in progress with feedback, share knowledge, support and inspire each other. Number 3 is Femme House, and as a goal of creating and fostering an equitable opportunity for women, trans, non-binary and other marginalised gender expressions in the technical areas of music. We seek to create the future producers, mixers and engineers of the industry by offering educational workshops, building community, propagating visual representation and offering professional development resources such as networking, mentorship and more. We believe that if you can see it, you can be it. Exactly. On their Discord in their Welcome to FH channel, they actually do have links to all of their other social media platforms as well, if you have a preference. But a bit of an overview on the types of channels that are on there. They have meetup and chat channels for the East Coast, West Coast, Canada, Mexico, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa and Australia. There are 3 voice channels. There's an Ableton chat. There are of course loads of music related channels too, like asking questions, sharing releases, track feedback, gear nerds, production tips, suggestion box. Yeah, there's all sorts of things in there, but it is a super active one. Number 4, we have 2% Rising. This is the one that I've probably been the most active in myself. This is actually a Facebook group. It is probably the only reason I still have a Facebook account. Anyway, 2% Rising. 2% Rising is a fantastic community of women and queer producers, sound engineers, sound designers, studio engineers, all sorts of people who work in audio. It's a really active group that they've historically done, and I think they are still doing Skillshare evenings where a member of the community will offer their time, usually for about an hour or something, and there will be a Zoom call. I believe it was all started during the pandemic, of course, to connect people who are working remotely, but they're great because I have met up with them in person as well, and a lot of really well-connected and interesting people. There's often opportunities to help. There's like jobs get posted in there sometimes. They have feeds for sharing your releases, collaboration call-outs, so if you want to find somebody who might have a different skill set to you, who you want to work with, that's a really good place to do that. Of course, it is also a place just to ask questions as well. Number 5 or 6, I can't remember, is Femnoise. Femnoise is I primarily know it as an Instagram community. It's also, I think, mostly European, but they do share sometimes some great tips, some jobs. They also do some talks. They're involved with Key Change as well, which is a really important initiative to get more women into music. They also have a label as well called Femnoise Records. Number whatever the hell we're on, Girl and Repertoire. This is a new-ish community that was started by Georgie Wilmore, who works for Meta, and Lauren Aquilina, who is just an exceptional songwriter. Like, if you don't know who Lauren Aquilina is, then they're working towards building connections, sharing knowledge, opportunities, things like that for women in the music industry. They've held 2 events IRL and I've been to only 1. I left feeling really inspired because I met loads of really interesting people. SheWrites. This is a really cool collective of people who run writing camps, and they're always all female writing camps. It's not just the producer, it's also the studio engineer and the songwriters, of course, as well. You can apply to be involved at any time. They have an email address in their bio, so you can just send over demos. I believe it's run by Violet Skies, who is an astonishingly good songwriter as well. And she does a lot of work to get more women in the industry. They also just share some really interesting news, interviews with female producers that are just quite inspiring to read and often shed light on people that I didn't know existed before. Another great one is She Said So. They are a group of women and gender non-conforming people and allies as well. They operate out of the UK, but they do global stuff really. I actually attended some of their talks during the pandemic and they were so interesting, and I got to talk to producers and other women who worked in the music industry, yeah, globally across the world, which was really cool. They do courses, they share jobs as well, they have a mentoring scheme too. I'm gonna give a shout out to this next one as well, even though I don't know if they're actually still active. However, even if they're not, you can still look through their Instagram and find some really great information anyway. It's Producer Girls on Instagram, beginner edutainment, that's a great edutainment. That's great. Beginner edutainment for girls and gender minorities in music production. The reason I particularly enjoy this account's content is because they take everyday objects and they use them to explain music production techniques. For example, they have this cupcake situation where they're using a cake to describe what stereo imaging is. Like, those sorts of things are what really help people, and it certainly helps me understand when I can visualise it like that. Next up, giving a shout out to Bristol's Saffron Records. They don't just operate in Bristol though, I think they also are up in Birmingham and a couple of other northern cities too. Maybe I'm wrong. They offer some really good schemes to get women into music as DJs, as producers, and also as artists as well. And their whole MO is to address the gender balance in the music industry. They do this for a number of different schemes, mentorships. They also do sometimes share jobs too. They share news, they run competitions. Past 2 Januaries, I think, they've also done a 7 days of sound event, and for 7 days they book a bunch of different speakers to do online talks. Another one that I follow that I personally haven't seen too much of their content because algorithm, but another group that I follow who could be cool for people who don't live in the UK is Future Female Sounds. They are a non-profit organisation on a mission to make DJing accessible to women and gender minorities. Not really production, but it's, I suppose, another route that a producer could take if they wanted to monetize an adjacent skill. And they also established their own booking agency in 2018, which is women-led as well. And last but not least, I'm going to shout out She Is The Music. She's The Music are probably the largest group that I follow. So they also have an online community that you can join. I believe they're affiliated with Alicia Keys in some way. I think she helped set it up or something like that. They share all sorts of things. They do writing camps, they share news. I believe they also have a summit as well, but it's this organisation is American based, so it would be a great one if you are based in the US. And there you have it. There is my probably incomplete list of communities that I think if you are producing and you don't know anybody else who is, you need to get involved with at least one of these communities. It's funny because you might often find that if you do online or in-person meetups that the same people crop up. Which is really nice. So go and check those out. If I have missed any, if you're watching this video and you're thinking, oh, she hasn't talked about that, or what about this? Please do leave me a comment because, like I said, I'm part of all of them and I want to be part of more. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, why not subscribe? Why not? Why not? And I will see you next week.